The Hero Effect, it's more than just your book. It is your personal philosophy.
Yeah.
For someone who might be unfamiliar with the term, what is the Hero Effect in that context, and what was the origin of the Hero Effect?
Yeah, so the hero effect in its most purest form is being your best when it matters the most. And I can't think of any role, any circumstance, any situation in life where that does not apply. Being your best when it matters the most. And honestly, this really started with a question. I was asked to speak to 2,000 people. And back then, when I was asked to do that, my speaking career was leadership, vision, communication, customer service, all of the usual things that we hear when we listen to speakers. And this particular group, 2,000 people, entrepreneurs, highly successful, their committee and I met 3 months before the event. And the committee chairwoman said to me, she said, Kevin, we don't want a stock speech. We don't want to hear about leadership, vision, communication, or customer service. And quite frankly, I got a little bit nervous. I said, what is it that you want me to talk about? And she said, we're not entirely sure. She said, but what I can tell you is the people that you're going to be talking to are hardworking people. They show up every single day and they pour the best of themselves into their communities, the people they serve, their teammates. In fact, a lot of our customers consider them to be heroes. And when she used the word heroes, I wrote it down, circled it, underlined it. And I said, how about this? What if I give a speech about what it means to be a hero, to bring the best version of you to this tiny space called now and pour it into the people you serve and serve with, to be a hero at work and at home? And she said, Kevin, if you could do that, you would be our hero. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. She got up and left the room. I completely freaked out, had a meltdown because I didn't have a hero speech. So I had 3 months, Drew, to get ready for this speech. No idea what I was going to talk about. And when I don't know what to do, I go to the smartest person I know, and that's my wife, Lisa. And I went to her and said, honey, I've got 3 months to get ready for 2,000 people. They want me to talk about heroes. I don't have a hero speech. And she said something that was profound. She said, let me ask you a question. When you look in the mirror, do you see yourself, or do you see all of the people who helped you become you? The people who picked you up when life knocked you down, the people who loved you when you were unlovable, the people who gave you things that you didn't have on your own. She said, if you don't see those faces, you're missing the picture completely. And that's where this whole thing started. It started with that one question: what does a hero look like? And as I stood there looking in the mirror that day, I started to see the faces of all of the teachers, the influencers, the mentors, the old bosses, the people who had poured into my life and took me places I could have never gotten to. And that was where I started. And I started asking anybody who would listen that one question: what does a hero look like? And I heard about our military personnel all over the world. I heard about world changers, Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., first responders. I heard about doctors and nurses, moms and dads, all the categories of heroes that you could imagine. And every single person that I've asked the question, what does a hero look like? They said heroes are ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And at first I thought, yep, that's it. That sounds right to me. And I wrote it down, and that's what I started to work with. And about a year into this hero's journey that I've been on, I realized that that was wrong. Because if we buy into that definition of a hero, we have to first convince ourselves that we're ordinary in the first place. And that's when we flipped the script. We flipped it, and we now believe that heroes are extraordinary people who choose not to be ordinary. We believe that ordinary is a choice, and it's a choice that far too many people make. And when I got that, everything on this journey began to change. People started to buy into what we were doing. They started to plug into our content. And all of a sudden, I was getting invited all over the world to share this story.